We can start the journey maybe a minute earlier, first time. Asatoma satgamaya tamasuma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya Asatoma Satgamaya, moving from the false to the real. The false we experience and the real we can experience. It is all about, but where the false and the real are placed and recognized in the intellect. We never say our mom as woman, father as man. We never say it, never comes to the mind. But behind our mom and the dad, there is a man and woman. Behind that man and woman, there are 5 elements which composes the physical body. We never, that is the meaning moving from the false to the real. Real is always present. Where there is a false, there is a real. False depends on the real. Ignorance to wisdom, or you are telling a lie, but how can I say that? So I have some truth in my head. On that basis, I say you are telling a lie. You say it means the lie depends on the truth, on the knowledge, on the truth. That is what we are searching. And the last, what happens? Mortality to immortality. If the intellect removes the false and the ignorance, we find we are immortal, we are infinite, we are all pervading. Open your eyes, pay attention. What a tasty food. You see that? Tasty food. Value set. Greed, value. We have set the value in the mind. Then I'm obsessed with the food. Oh, I like you. Value. And after few days I am frustrated. Do you think the Eastern wisdom will remain silent when you try to extract the happiness and sorrow from a situation, from a people, from a person, and from a relationship? No. If you are a seeker, Eastern wisdom will not remain silent. It say, no. Are you trying to extract the water from the sand? Not possible. We are talking of these values because if the value is set in our mind rightly, we can awaken to the 6 treasures. I thought after the marriage I will be happy, but I think I'll be happy after the divorce. Value, you have set the value. You have set the value on the false. First to set the value and then setting the value on the false. Do you think the Eastern wisdom will remain silent if you are a seeker? It will bang on your head. Why it will bang on your head? The ignorance lies here. Do you see that? We are doing this self-destruction. Self-destruction by setting the value, we get the suffering. I cannot eat without this food. I have set a value where the mind is going. Can I not eat? Yes, I can eat any other food also. But the mind is obsessed with a person, with a relationship, with anything, anything, any object in the world. I don't see what is behind that object, that person, and then we say, okay, nothing is happening. Eastern wisdom is also not giving me any result. Eastern wisdom will not remain silent. You are wrong. You are treading the path on the false. Eastern wisdom will not remain silent. You are trying to extract your happiness from the outer situation by setting a value. I'll talk about the mind, interesting observation by our masters later. Why the mind sets this value? Oh, because of ignorance. Yeah, that seems to be a right answer. But we have to go why the mind sets the false value. If you find the answer, already you have reached. I'm not answering that question now. You can ask later. Do you think the teacher says you to improve, you don't improve? You don't improve? Do you think Eastern wisdom will remain silent when you extract happiness? We are not listening. Why we are not listening? We have our values is already set somewhere else. Unless we set the value completely, how? By understanding, by contemplation and reflection. That ignorance is present in the intellect, it is not present outside. But look at my honey, I'm doing meditation, she is not or he is not doing. You are the craziest person then. You don't want to change yourself. Your mind is still have set the value outside. As long as this value of the mind is set outside on a situation, on a person, on a relationship, you will not change. You will not change. That is why Ashok is scratching his head. He says, no, I'm pushing your thought into my head. Value. We have reached to the journey of the value. Once you set the value, how? By intellect, by knowledge. You recognize, now, should I be angry, hesitated on that? No. My anger, hesitation is a hidden expectations. Hidden expectations means I have set the value outside. And when I have set the value outside, setting the value outside, extracting peace and happiness, love and wisdom, not possible. That is why the master says we have the 6 inner wealth. Inner wealth. Have you ever understood the meaning? What is inner? Outside the home, inside the home. What it means? Closer. Very close. Subtle. That is the meaning of inner. Inner wealth. Subtle. Subtle. So these are the subtle wealth, the calmness of the mind, the self, or you can say the senses are. Do you want to know? Yes. Let me talk about this. Second is known as the Dhamma. Dhamma means the control of the sense organs. But control of the sense organ here does not mean that you are in fact controlling. What is this? This is an object, remote. So our mind perceives everything as an object, including the people. My mom, my dad, and all these objects. First perception by the sense organ as an object. Mind processes the information, attraction. Attraction is present in the mind. And when I am attracted to this object, that object becomes a sensual object. Are you getting it? Master says, no, that is the second treasure. Don't convert the object into a sensual object. It may be a man, it may be a woman, it may be a remote, it may be a TV, it may be a house, anything. If you get it, very good. If you didn't get it, that too is very good. Do you see that? So that master says, no, you have to be aware, maintain that awareness, what the sense organs are doing. If every object becomes a sensual object, or select objects become a sensual object, you lose awareness and it make you fall into ignorance. And the false asatoma satgamaya. Uparati. Uparati, rati means pleasure. Pleasure in possessions, pleasure in food, and pleasure, sensual pleasure, physical pleasure, carnal pleasure. Rati means pleasure. Uparati means beyond. You look above. You don't fight with your mind. No, I will control my eyes to control my sensual activities. It will never happen. Try. It will never happen. So the master is saying uparati, beyond. You are looking beyond. You are looking beyond. Sensual objects. You move your mind from the sensual object to simply an object. Are you understanding? Who will have a sensuality to this beer guy? So you remove that sensuality from your intellect. It is all mental and intellectual practice. Uparati. I'm just giving an introduction, then we will go deeper. And the fourth one is the titiksha. Titiksha means the endurance. It builds up a strong value. A very crazy stuff of this is that you are doing an austerity and penance, you stand on one feet in the Himalayas. That is just symbolic. It is not going to help you even if you stand on the Himalayas. Endurance means whatever has come from the world. Your honey has said you something, you don't react. I will not react. Teacher, student has said something, you don't react. Your son has said something, you don't react. You have a loss, you don't react. You have a profit, you are not super excited. You hold on to yourself. No, I'm not raising the bar of my expectations of greed if I achieve success. And I'm not letting me down if I fail. Endurance, value set in the mind. That is endurance. And we have to apply this endurance all the time. All the time. That is the fourth one. Shraddha. The fifth one is the faith. Faith, again, it is in the intellect. Am I a man? Yes, faith. Am I giving a lesson? Faith. Am I aware of myself? Yes, faith. So don't say it's a blind faith. You allow the awareness to be present. That is one aspect. But now you don't fall down from these principles of Eastern wisdom, the faith. You remind yourself. Remind yourself. Sensual object or I see the object. Object is the same. You see the sensuality in the object or you see the object as object. Attraction is okay. Oh, you are a wonderful guy. You are a beautiful girl. That level of attraction is okay. But now the attraction turns into a sensuality. That is what is known as the attachment. So we preserve the calmness of the mind. That is my inner wealth. Not very subtle. And the sixth one is samadhana. Jerry said last time, samadhana is solution. Yes, rightly. You find the solution. You live in higher awareness. You have nothing to worry. You have no issues in your life once you live in these six treasures. That is what, if you remember the wisdom circle, first 8 steps. 8th step is, do you remember, leave your home. Leave your home of false and ignorance. The more you leave the home of false and ignorance, you are always relaxed. Then only today we have to look at the benefits of these 6 treasures. Emotional purification. First benefit is the emotional purification. And we already know, emotionally we react, we get trapped, we feel guilt, we say sorry, we do the same thing again and again. So emotional purification. Bhakti is also known as the emotional purification. Simply folding the hand will not work unless you change your mindset. It will not work. Try this. So emotional purification, it purifies the emotion by redirection them towards the real self. Sensual object. My mind turned this object into a sensual object. Otherwise, this object does not contain any sensuality. Why? Because of the emotion. So I redirect that emotion from this object inside to the real self. Emotional purification. Little subtle. I will talk about it in detail, no worries. I'll make it clear again and again practically. This emotional reorientation naturally leads to what? It leads to sama, calmness of the mind. Again, take the same example. Object, sensual object. Object and now sensual object. Who perceives? My intellect. I'm transforming my mind. I want to live in a spiritual consciousness. I need that emotional purification. Second benefit of these 6 treasures is automatic self-restraint. You instantly become aware. Sensuality is gone. Mind is not running. You're done. That is known as the Dhamma. How much time it takes, the object is the same. So I see this as an object and I see this as a sensual object. I'm giving a very rough example. You can apply this to a living beings or anything. Are you getting it? Look at the very subtle nature, how deeper our masters have gone. Devotional detachment. That is the third benefit. Devotional detachment. Devotional, you can say committed. My mind, am I committed to the real self? Yes, this is detachment from the rest of the world. Why I need a detachment? Because my mind running after any object, any person, any relationship adds sensuality directly or indirectly. I am not talking sensuality only at the sexual level. The sensuality that my mind forgets. I'm running after. It may be my mom and the dad and a friend and a honey or an object or a home, everything, anything. So devotional detachment, devotional commitment, committed. Committed, you are casual in the parties but committed inside. That is why they are known as the inner treasures. Can you imagine what kind of a personality you will develop by having these 6 treasures? That makes us fit at a higher level for awakening to the spiritual consciousness. And the fourth one, I'm just devotional detachment is what is I explained to you, uparati. Rati means pleasure, up means going beyond. So you in the intellect, you are beyond all those pleasures. So how can I live? If I like food, go and eat the food that you like. But you don't develop that sensuality. Can you enjoy the freedom inside you? And then the endurance through, if I say endurance through love, you endure it. You also endure when the doctor gives you a report. Your sugar level, your cholesterol level is very high. Doctor, you don't say to the doctor, why you have given this report? Are you crazy? No, you don't say. You endure. We do it. The beauty of the Eastern wisdom that we do it, we are not aware. So your honey reacts, that is a medical report. Endure it. Your son says something, endure it. I told Ashok also, endure it. If you don't, but don't endure by building your ego, then you are the craziest person. That is the meaning, endurance through love. Endurance not through ego. I specifically say to the people, and I've been tolerating you for, why you have been tolerating me? Tolerating. You have become the Jesus. That is why you have been tolerating. Endurance through the love. And the fifth one, I told you the faith. The faith is reinforced by experience. When I experience the calmness, the first four four treasures of my mind, I live into that first four: endurance through the love, sama, dhamma, uparati, and the titiksha. You experience that your faith is reinforced. You experience that tremendous faith. In that tremendous faith, you can experience that spiritual consciousness. In that vision of the so-called, in a traditional way, we can have a vision of the God. The faith is reinforced again and again by my experience. I endured it. I endured it by love, and I'm calm. What a great thing. But previously I was reacting. I got agitated. I disturbed others, and others disturbed me. Now I'm not disturbed at all. Faith is reinforced by love, by experience. What happens when we follow all the five treasures? Huh? Five treasures. There is a natural awareness, there is a natural wisdom is always living with you. And that is why the last treasure is known as samadhana, the solution. You know what happened 3 years ago? I was teaching these, so I picked up these 6 treasures in the 5th or the 6th session. And people got too much frustrated because I did not lay the foundation of these 6 treasures. I did not talk about the wisdom circle. I did not talk about the 11 steps. I did not talk about the value of the mind, and then they were frustrated. So I have to restart it. And that is why you see that I'm coming slowly to that level. So don't see that inner treasure can be awakened. It has to be based on those 10 steps. And the 8th step is important. And the 8th step means the leaving home. And the 8th step depends on the first 7 steps. I'm doing the karma yoga. I am aware of my binding and unbinding desire. I am aware of the defects in the worldly pleasure. The world remain as it is, right? What is the sensuality in the world? I become worldly. World. This world does not make me worldly. I become worldly. World will remain, house will remain as it is. I leave the house will say bye-bye. You have been crazy, better to go. I am attached. External to internal. That is me, closer. I come closer to myself. That is the meaning. External to internal. Internal is all pervasive. That all the 6 treasures are always present in me. I never realize it. That is another meaning that these are the inner treasures. They are always present. I'm stressed today. Tomorrow I'm happy. Stress is gone. What is temporary? It is gone. The inner treasures is subtler. It is all pervasive. It remains all the time. How can you say it remains? It does not live. I don't live into that. I told you, object, sensual object. Remove the sensuality. Find in which state you are. You are in a state of calmness. You're already there. So it is subtle. Inner means it is subtle. It sustains. It is all pervasive. Very, very typical understanding. If you don't understand this, you will not be able to awaken to these 6 treasures of your, which you have, When? All the time. Where? Everywhere. In which relations? In all the relations. You have all those six treasures. I try to achieve something, and my body is not supporting me. Sensuality towards my own body, attachment towards the body. Otherwise, no task is difficult. Very subtle. I will talk about it. Yes, now is the time to discuss and give me some reflection and ideas so that I can start teaching others. I teach you guys, I take your discussion points and then I teach others. Yes, who is going to be the first? Yes, Samir. Go ahead.
Or I think value in the mind changes with the experiences. See,
Yeah,
before 10 years, there was different value in my mind. And last 5 year back, there was different value in my mind. As I kept on experiencing my inner calmness and peace, my values started changing with the time. As the time changed, my values started changing with sadhana. So that is always there till you don't do worldly experience with the internal experience. If those both the things go side by side, then you are able to compare the things and you know that what is right, what is wrong, and that is the best possible thing which can happen to a person. This I
beautifully
think so.
said. Beautifully said. You completed the entire previous. I was experiencing a different set of the values which uh, which has an experiences of reaction and anxiety. Then I started learning I treating the path of the Eastern wisdom, which showed me how to move from the false to the real, from ignorance to the wisdom. So now there is another set of the values which are almost permanent. You settle into those values and you see what happens in your life. You are happy all the time in any situation. Just for example, honey, I told you that honey I use for anything that is very dear to you. Anyone leaves you, you're happy. Anyone comes to you, you're happy. Inner, subtle, you rightly said, wonderful. Yes, who is going to be the next?
One of the things I picked up from today's talk is endurance through love. And I see how this endurance can be misunderstood and misused
Yeah,
to build the ego. If my motivation behind the endurance is to show myself and everyone how strong and how spiritual I am, that I can endure these difficulties and prove to myself that I'm so great,
yeah, yeah.
then of
Mhm.
course it is not leading me anywhere. So the motivation behind the endurance is love towards the real self, towards the everyone around me. And one other motivation is to not hurt anyone through the endurance, including myself. This is what I think.
Beautifully said. Endurance. Endurance means that why I endure? Because I love the real self. I want to find the real self. One aspect, I want to endure. Look, Dennis, I am enduring. I'm a great guy. You have to follow me. So you also become crazy. I'm already crazy. The majority of the people do it. And it takes long time to understand those who follow the path of the spirituality blindly. It becomes a sticky thing. Look, Jesus endured it. Jesus did not endure for you. He did not endure to show. We take the things wrongly in our mind. Why? That is why I told you, because basics should be understood first. The wisdom circle, all the 11 steps, I have clear understanding, and then I come to the values. It works. Yes, who is going to take over? Anyone. I'm a professor like Brandy, so I'm asking you to speak.
I have been having the play and the fun every day of experiencing, seeing. I've been observing a lot as I work on being close to myself and not exuding thoughts or attachments on the outside. And yesterday I had the option to go buy new shoes. And I went and I just there was no need. And the person I was with is like, we're going to this, we have this event, you need new shoes, you need new shoes. And I just saw all the attachment to, oh, I love these shoes. And I was just like, ah, I love what I have and I don't need anything. I will be happy at this event how I look. So kind of silly, but I just
Beautifully
experienced that.
said. You see, shoes, object, sensual object. Now the shoes has become a sensual object. So when anything becomes a sensual object, your mind is racing. No, I must have it. No, let me have it. It's beautiful. It's good. Mind always tries to rationalize. That is one of the major reasons we are always busy. Otherwise, there is no reason to be busy in your life. Beautifully said. Beautifully. Uh, yes, who else is coming?
We'll go. I like the last thing that you said because I'd like to believe that I'm mature enough to, kind of to Christina's point, differentiate between the sensuality of like shoes or even a partner or anything like that. But I think what's really important is the subtlety of our own attachment to our perceived selves, our bodies getting older and the things that we think are important markers in our lives and things like that. And that's for me anyway, where the real endurance has to come, like recognizing that, even halfway through life, okay, like the attachment is to everything, right?
Yeah.
Not the bigger things that you're kind of conventionally thinking of. So anyway.
You say, yes, you rightly said. You see, let us enjoy every object, every person, every relationship when I can enjoy it. That is the question. What is the state of mind I can enjoy everything in my life when I have these 6 inner treasures? Opposite, when they are destroyed, they hide. Why they hide? That object turns into a sensuality. That object may be a partner, maybe the shoes, maybe the TV or a car or anything. So, attraction, appreciation of the beauty and the thing is okay. No problem at all. But if this attraction turns into an attachment, that is what the sensuality is, then you create a binding desire. And that binding desire, you lose endurance. Whether Dennis was saying you lose endurance. And when you lose endurance, then you know, I'm a great guy because I married to Miss India. That is your endurance. Or whatever it is. We have to understand it. We have to be very, very aware. Then only we can reach to that state. Do anyone wants to say? Christina, do you want to say something?
I think the idea of you're laying out a recipe for us with the Eastern wisdom to come back and realize the real self. And I compare that to almost, it feels like I've been living a recipe that's been building the ego and attachment. And so it's learning a new recipe. And I'm not a really great cook, but I'm trying actually to make some new things. And it's just continuing to try and practice and stay committed to it through endurance. So it's the same thing with these principles.
You have to cook this recipe. Otherwise, there is no other alternative in your life or in anyone's life. And so simple. Master is saying awaken to the six treasures. They are not saying that you build. You already have it. When you awaken to it, the life changes. So when I awaken to something, that is what is inside me, and that is what the spiritual consciousness is. So we are approaching slowly to that state. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Oh, yes, Terry. You want to say something? Oh, no. Okay. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Find out the place, position, and posture. Now you see your mind loosens that attachment from the world outside. Then your mind questions, are you talking of the place of the real self or the place of the body? Place of the body is limited. When you are limited, when you claim that you are limited, you are in ignorance. In ignorance causes this suffering. Oh, no, I'm not the body. I'm talking about the place of the real self. Place of the real self. Real self is all pervading. Your mind has a different level of awareness. So what is the position of the real self? There is only one position. Why? The real self cannot change the position. But why? The space is contained in the real self. The real self is not present within the space. The space is present in the real self. Oh, so there is no question of changing the position. What happens? Your mind is flying. Mind lives in a higher awareness. It's a tool, it's an instrument. And then being comfortable, comfort. I address that issue. I will address little more subtler later. So I said the comfort is in the body. The comfort is everywhere. How I get the comfort? You look at any object, minus sensuality is the comfort. Is the wall not standing as it is? Is the TV is not standing as it is? For example, is my son has a habit of reacting, is not in the same mode, or let them be in the same mode. I'm different. That is being comfortable. I secure the comfort. Secure means it is already there. And the same thing being carefree. Being carefree. Carefree. Carefree means separation. I am separate from the uncomfort. I'm separate from the sensuality. I'm separate from the pleasure and the pain. I'm separate from all the objects of the world. Because why? Because I'm the real self. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Can your mind digest, reflect on it? If you reflect, you need to reflect. The problem is in my intellect. I perceive any person with their sensuality. When I say I, it is the intellect. So happiness is our essential nature. It is the essential nature. It is my essential nature also. And suddenly you get a shock. Oh, I'm searching happiness in that sensuality. Done. Finished. I'm trying to give an expression in variety of ways. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. You see, 1 minute meditation exists, but this way it exists. Instantly your mind flies. Peace is my essential nature. Based on the previous principles, you instantly become aware. The entire scenario presented by your mind to you, that answer is yes, peace is my essential nature. That stage will also come. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all, wholeness. Why I have sensibility? One reason, because I'm searching for that sense of completeness outside. Why? Because I don't recognize the completeness and wholeness is within me. Those treasures are within me. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. That is the main thing. Eastern wisdom, I've been telling you, is an instrument of knowledge, means of knowledge. What to do to remove the ignorance? Rationally, logically. Now looking deep inside the forehead in the space, keep looking into the space inside the forehead and start breathing long, deep, and hissing into the chest. Into the chest. You remember there is an expansion of the chest and contraction of the chest. How? By inhaling and exhaling. Where? Into the rib cage. Means you are doing the what I say, the clavicle bone and the thoracic breathing, if I use the word scientifically. No, we we can also say chest breathing, but we don't say. Then people say, "Oh, we are unscientific." Long, deep, and hissing breath. No other part of you don't swing your body. You are inhaling and exhaling into the ribs. Why I say so? To maintain your awareness. Why? To maintain your awareness, so your mind comes very close and near to yourself. But why? To explore those 6 treasures. What are those 6 treasures? They give you a wisdom of what exactly is the spiritual consciousness. Oh, I stopped talking, you have stopped breathing? No, you have to continue. And now stop breathing, become aware of the flow of the breath. Do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Flow of the breath, you recognize whether the flow is equal or not. In both the cases, it is okay. You're aware of the flow of the breath, you experience the feeling, and the mind seems to be living within. It is not picking up any object, even if you have a thought, but you will instantly become aware. Can I use the word? We had a lot of discussion on endurance. Can I use the phrase here? You endure the incoming and the outgoing thoughts and feeling and emotions at present. But you endure out of love for the real self, not for the sake of the ego. Look, I have controlled my mind. Nobody. Endurance through love will work. Endurance in ignorance will never work. It will build your strong ego and a lot of reactions will be there. So now in the same way, that is the time to drop Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. You look, you feel, you touch mentally the one segment, and then you drop Om Shanti, the same way the second. And there are 16 segments in 4 fingers, and continue to drop Om Shanti on these 16 segments. I know I'm aware and mindful that I have to explain why we do this step, even though I have given you the answers. And we will gradually understand that part also, as other principles will be understood. Continue. Here in this tab, it is perfectly natural. It is more inner. It is pervasive. You are not limited to touch by the physical, hear by the physical, hear physically. Purely mental. So mind contains all the sense organs. A sense of touch, a sense of sound. Sense means sense organ. Sense of sound, sense of touch, sense of seeing, sight, and Om Shanti. And now leave the step, move the mind inside the cave of your heart. Visualize the equilateral triangle pointing upward of any color, and then see as the mind moves on the side of the triangle, dropping Om Shanti clockwise and anti-clockwise. It's a very subtle movement of the mind. That is also the meaning. The mind is within, deep inside. I already explained you the meaning of insight. And when you find this thing, that is the moment. Push the mind singing mentally. Mind is pushed deep inside the cave of your heart. Shanti, and stop it. I know I'm still aware that I need to explain what we are doing, and let the time come, you'll be very clear. But even if you are clear now, practically, experientially, you will understand the basic fact about it. Yes, thoughts may be there, but they are too far. You recognize them. They are too far from you to disturb you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand, your mind on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palm. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. will share our experiences. How are you, Dennis?
Very comfortable and peaceful meditation. The mind settled inside after the breathing, and at the end was just observing the dark space inside. Almost no distractions, no thoughts interfered, nothing, just a dark space. Thank
Beautiful,
you.
beautiful, very good. How are you, Samir?
Sir, mind quickly went inside. It took no time, and it was very peaceful.
Yes, in both the cases, Dennis, in your case, the mind moved gently inside. You have to give an interpretation what it means by moving inside. I have already explained to you. It is subtle, it is all pervasive. That is why we experience that so called dark spot. And we are going already deeper into the journey. How are you, Brandy?
I'm good, thanks. My meditation was really peaceful and calm as well.
Beautiful. Now, question is, can I live in my life every day free from sensuality? You have to answer. Sensuality not only at the physical level, sexual level, but sensuality. I gave you an example. And if that is possible, you open the gateway to the six treasures. How are you, Christina, with a K? I have to be mindful here.
Thank you. I felt a complete withdrawal from the outside world and coming out of meditation, recognizing all that's false, just in a more, a deeper, clearer way.
Beautiful. Yes, in a more deeper and clear. I want you to listen to me. So this expression has many shades and color in variety of relationship. So I have to focus and reflect on this statement. You will realize it is not required. And when you recognize it is not required, you are free. A recognition in relationship with the sun, with the honey, but I don't recognize, I reinforce it. I create a different shade. That is what the sensuality is. Are you getting it? Yes, another Christina with the C.
Thank you for that. I enjoyed just being here and experiencing the peace within, and I truly would, and learning just how to walk it with my eyes open and not, your voice comes in my head a lot, and I hear your voice saying, oh, thank you, mind. Thank you for reminding me I'm not the body. And
Beautiful.
so
Yes, yes, yes.
I have that going on in my head all the time.
Yes, Gen Z people easily gets attracted to spirituality and easily gets swayed away to the sensuality outside. So you have to continue the journey until the transformation takes place. We at this age, we say, okay, we have seen it, we will check it later. Any kind. You have already explained by an example of the shoe. Did you buy the shoes?
No.
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good. That's good. No, if you don't have it, then buy it. But if you already have it, there is no need. Terry.
I mostly was having an experience of endurance, and it was a sensuality, but not in a pleasant way.
Yeah, it's okay.
And so I guess I have to. It was hard to think clearly, but I guess that's a part of karma yoga to go through that.
You see that our perception, say for example, I look at this clock. Looking clock, I maintain that awareness. It's a beautiful clock, that too is good. I should appreciate what is good, what is beautiful. But now there is a very thin line where this clock becomes a sensual clock. That is attachment. But how to recognize it? My eyes have left the clock and I'm driving the car. The clock is very good. Food is very good. He is very good. She is very good. Mind? You don't have any other thing to contemplate? Why you are repeating this? That is I converted an object into a sensual object. What is going to happen? All your six treasures will be hidden. They will never manifest. Try this. Our master declares, I'm not saying. Those six treasures will never manifest in your life. Very clear. And that is all for today. Thank you.
Sir, namaste.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, sir.
सर मैं ये कह रहा था जो तितिक्षा है that is to react, not to react unnecessarily.
तितिक्षा.
Patience.
Yes, आगे.
Increasing the patience.
Yes, that is the primary lesson of endurance, not to react unnecessarily. It means I reserve the right to react. But in Titiksha, your endurance with love. You don't reserve the right to react. So you are in a primary class. You have to move further. Why should I react? No, others are doing wrong. So you are a judge who will decide who is doing wrong and right. So I build my ego and then I reserve the right to react. That is not endurance. But yes, and the primary lesson is okay. Primary lesson. It's a good in politics, but not in spirituality. So that also indicates I have lot of differences, dislikes and hatred and reaction present in the mind. So I have a reservation. I reserve my right to react. You know, we say in America, Brandy, something. I reserve the right to what something like this. I have a freedom. You know, what is article, you know? So no, this will not work. This will not help me evolve. This will not make me spiritual. I have to change further. That is all for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.